Hi, welcome to the Stream of David show. I am here once again with my friend Matt Gardan. Hi, Matt.
Hey, David. Hi, everyone.
How is life in Sydney this morning?
Look, it's super, super quiet. It's eerie. We're fine. I'm fine. I'm in the office by myself. My two daughters are here working because school's mainly shut down. It kind of really hit Australia on Sunday night. Everything just kind of stopped in 1 second. Just kind of, yeah. So I'm fine. I'm not participating in it. And I'm lucky that work is still going on, but a lot of people I know are really struggling.
So, how serious is the virus so far there?
The virus is, I mean, I think there's 2,500 cases, but we're 10% the population of America. So, if we were proportionately, that would be about 20,000 cases. But economically, everything's just kind of suddenly stopped, and I think that's going to be a much bigger impact for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, we're just rolling with it, seeing what happens, keeping our spirits up, and just me personally, I'm so blessed and grateful that I've got this practice and that I've got a daily spiritual practice to lean on in these times.
Yeah, we were just talking the Taya boot camp call. We just had that. I do that every Saturday, and we just had all the base campers, which is everybody that's graduated from boot camp in the 2 years that we've been running it, and they were all on talking about how the tools are helping them navigate this. And really, what we do in the practice of Taya, and we talk about it on here all the time, is every time we have an obstacle in our lives, and of course, this obstacle is across all humanity right now. We look and say, how is this serving us? And we've seen some evidence of how it's already serving us. It's cleaning up our planet a little bit. It's sending us all home to work in different ways than we have perhaps in the past. We have more time on our hands, by and large. Those people that aren't having to still work to serve other people right now, to think about things, to reevaluate their lives, to get out and appreciate nature more. I see people on social media posting about appreciating things that you never see posts about. And I'm not just talking about toilet paper, I mean, real things in our lives. Toilet paper is pretty important if you live in a place where bidets are not popular. But, it's just the navigating this stuff. And for me, I'm pretty advanced in the Taya practice because I created it. I've really gotten to this point where I'm excited to see what's next. Yeah. I view life differently. I view illness differently. I even view death differently. And there's no fear in any of it. That doesn't mean that I don't feel for people who are going through illness and death in their families and things like that. But I do view it a little differently. And I'm excited to see what the twists and turns are going to bring us as humanity. Cleaning up the environment a little bit, not a bad thing. I don't think too many people would argue against that. Figuring out ways to utilize technology, maybe to stay in one place more and not be out in traffic and having to commute to an office that maybe we don't even need to go to. My entire business is virtual, as you know. I work with people on your team, and you're all in Australia. I'm in the United States, in California, and we work together seamlessly.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of possibilities for us to shift the ways that we do things, and we don't have to go back to the Stone Ages or anything like that. I don't think that that's the case at all. But I think that we're seeing now that we can do things differently, we can consume differently, and we can love and trust more and fear less is my hope. The message that I really want to bring the world from the stream is their message of really releasing fear from our lives and getting eager about what's next. I see a lot of friendly faces logging on, so it's good to see all of you here. Raminia.
Yeah, hi everyone.
Raminia, missed you on the boot camp call. I saw that you logged in, but I guess you were busy, so I couldn't get you on there. But you can talk to the stream now. And I want to let everybody know that we have a summit coming up. Mark your calendars for Saturday, April 4th, 10 a.m. Pacific. We're going to have a 2-hour summit with the stream, and it's going to be different because I'm going to have other people come on and interact with the stream on screen. So you'll still be able to come in and watch for 2 hours. Type your questions, have Matt or whoever relay your
Yeah.
question to the stream, but I am going to allow a limited number of people. I'm limited by the technology to how many people that we have on, and I'm not sure how many slots we have left, but I know we're going to have at least 8 people on with the stream on camera, being able to interact with them. And that's going to be a different experience, because not only will you be able to ask a question of the stream, you'll be able to ask a follow-up question, because very often you ask a question, they're going to give you a 5-minute answer to that question. And I've watched the playback enough to know how this goes. A very deep, detailed answer, but sometimes you may even want a little more clarity than that, or clarity on part of their answer. You know, my intention in sharing the stream is to tap into the core of source energy, the purest form of high-level thinking that there is, and offer that in a very simple way that's easy for all of us to comprehend. No riddles, you know, nothing that you have to kind of figure out, well, what do they just mean by that? You know, I really want to keep it simple and pure, because it really is simple and pure. And a lot of the things that we do in spiritual circles is we tend to take that energy and humanize it, and we make beautiful things out of it that are useful tools. But sometimes it causes confusion because there's so many different schools of thought and so many different tools. And I'm in so many of these Facebook groups, and somebody will ask a question and they'll get 20 different answers to the question. And where I know all along that really the answer to all of our questions is really going inward. The stream always guides us to that. You know, even though they're here to share wisdom, very often they're going to point us inward with a lot of our questions, because we do have all the answers within ourselves, because the stream is flowing to all of us. So I see some
when you learn
Go ahead, Matt.
Sorry, I think when you learn to quiet that kind of chatter in your mind and tap into your stream connection, then it becomes then it becomes easier to know what to do next.
Yeah, definitely, because nobody else can really tell you, you know, what meaning different things hold in your life, because they're independent of you. What we're doing as human beings is we are connected to the energetic realm, and we are continually perceiving that energy differently. And it's all independent. It's based on our lives, our history, the wholeness of who we are before we even manifest as a human being. So there really isn't anyone else that can tell you what your numbers lining up, for instance, mean. That's a personal thing for you. And what, you know, the angel messages are that you receive, and your guidance from your guides and things of that nature. It's all very personalized based on your perception of what you're receiving from the energetic realm. The stream always says that. I don't even know how I got off on this tangent, but anyway, so we're here to to bring the stream through for all of you. So if you have questions for the stream, you have questions for me or Matt, you can type those in too. But I understand the stream is the star of the show, and everybody wants to talk to the stream. So I'll be channeling the stream momentarily. If you haven't watched the broadcast before, I channel a group of non-physical entities that comprise the core of source energy that I call the stream. A lot of people channel and give their channel entities, or the channel entities provide a name. Really, it's a stream of consciousness. It's not human. They're not people, and they are many, and they are not an I nor a we, they say. So it's important to understand that there's an energetic realm, and that realm is consciousness. It is thought, and is original thought, and is the source of all creation, and is what drives all of us, and we're all part of it. My intention with sharing all this is to tap into the core of it, to the most powerful part of it, the energy of pure love, if you will, and share that information, which is very much based on universal law. There's very few universal laws. They're very simple, really, to understand, but we're taught across humanity to ignore that stuff and actually run our lives very opposite, or in opposition of universal law. We're taught to live in fear. We're taught to live the way somebody else tells us to live, that we're supposed to go to a certain kind of school and get a certain kind of education and graduate and get a certain kind of job and get into a certain kind of relationship and have a certain number of children and work for a certain number of years and put a certain amount of money away and die at a certain age. And that's what our life is supposed to be. But we know that we're more intelligent than that. We know that we are more intelligent than to just be these sheeps that just follow along this path that we're told to follow. It doesn't feel good to any of us. So we're all out here seeking answers and seeking truth. And now we're at this turning point across humanity of this crisis that we're facing. That, you know, every crisis creates opportunity. So how we handle this crisis, how we react to it, how we participate in it is up to us. And the stream's message has been building toward this all along. Matt and I sort of discovered that from the stream on a personal call the other day, that they have been here flowing and providing this information and laying the groundwork with just a few people of what's going to catch hold to many, many more people of a different way of operating our lives. And it's a way that is free of fear, free from fear. And getting to a point where you're not fearful of politics, you're not fearful of illness, you're not fearful of death, you're not needing to impose your beliefs on other people, you're not needing to be right, you're not needing other people to live a certain way to please you, you're not needing them to believe as you believe. At this point, I'm fine with everyone's belief system being what it is, because it's all perfect, it's all wonderful, and it's all serving that person in their own way, even if we don't understand it, even if we don't agree with it, even if it's completely opposite of what we believe, that they're on their path and they're on their journey, and it does not have to impact us. And I have proven that over and over again in my life. And I use my life as an example of these teachings over and over again. And I'm here to do just that. However that plays out, I'm eager to see what's next always.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic point, David. This is, yes, it's a crisis. Yes, it's scary. Yes, things are always going to be changed, but it's also an amazing opportunity for us to be an example of how people can live their lives now, without fear, with trust, and by doing these simple daily practices that give you a sense of freedom and joy, and give you the appreciation of everything that's happening.
Absolutely. It's funny, I'm looking at some of the comments that are coming through here, and I don't have all the names. Some names we get on this technology, and some names it just says Facebook user. Somebody said Nancy Cooney. Hi, Nancy. Ramina is on, and I know Carrie was on a moment ago. Nicole is on. Nicole is in boot camp. Carrie and Ramina is in boot camp. I always think she's a graduate, but she's still completing. And so Ramina says, with this shelter in place going on around the country, it feels like Earth itself is holding its breath. Not angry, not sad, just on pause. It feels as if society is holding its breath as well. Is there any comments from the stream on that? So we'll get to that from the stream's perspective in a moment. Yeah. That is an interesting point of view. I like that. I think I shared the post where it says it feels like planet Earth has sent us all to our rooms to think about what we've done. I thought, there's some truth in that. There's probably some truth in that for sure. I know that we're all interconnected. We're connected to planet Earth. We're part of planet Earth, and we have not been caring for it as well as we could have. The stream has said many times that we're not destroying the planet. The planet may destroy us, or seriously, we may destroy ourselves. But planet Earth's going to be just fine. Planet Earth's going to be around for a long, long time. And where humanity goes with the direction that we're going right now, I think we are seeing a turning point. We are seeing how quickly the planet bounces back from the way that we've mistreated it for a long, long time. And I think that illustrates the stream's point, in that these storms come through our lives, whether it's a financial storm or an illness or a pandemic or anything of this nature, and it sort of clears the path for new growth. And that new growth always comes back bigger and stronger than ever before. And that is expansion. And we live in an expansive universe. The universe is always expanding, and this is how the universe expands. It makes perfect sense. And in understanding that we would not have this expansion if we didn't have the storms. Therefore, the obstacles that we manifest in our lives are a blessing, because they are here to strengthen us for sure. I see that play out in my own life all the time, and I see that playing out across humanity. And I can tell you I'm speaking right now from my human perspective, not from the stream perspective. That can be different sometimes. From my human perspective, I think that this pandemic is going to get worse before it gets better. And that's going to cause some financial fallout from it. I don't know about a full-blown global recession or not at this point, but it's going to cause something that's going to be a little uncomfortable. But that is also going to give us an opportunity to turn it around and make it bigger and better than ever, whatever that looks like for us. And another thing that I've proven to myself in my life using these tools, I've really been using these tools my whole life. On some level, I've been using them my whole life, because this stuff has been coming to me forever. And I know that when the last recession hit, I made the conscious decision that I wasn't going to participate in it. And I didn't. I was fine. I actually made more money year after year after year during the recession. And so personally, I was fine. I didn't enjoy watching what was going on across the United States. It was, the recession was in the U.S. and but I wasn't personally impacted by it. And if you're not personally impacted by it, things are pretty good for you in a recession because your buying power is a lot stronger. You're living better on less money during a recession if you're not participating in the recession. So it's just important to not fear a recession so much, because the fear, and I had a bird's eye view of a lot of employees that I was in charge of, and the ones that were very fearful had a rough time. They did. And the ones that went on business as usual were okay. And that taught me a valuable lesson, years ago, that we can all utilize now and all learn from now, that we decide whether we participate in any of this or not, or at what level, and how we react to any obstacle that comes our way. So with all that said,
I think you're absolutely right, David. Sorry, I'm muting my mic because the kids are on live classes and sometimes they need to talk and stuff.
Okay.
But you're right. Something I've noticed, which has been really apparent, is that the energy just moves. It's the same energy. It's just shifting to different ages and areas. And you look at some businesses are collapsing and that's awful. Others are exploding. Amazon are looking to hire 150,000 employees. 150,000.
Yeah. So if you're worried about losing your job, or if you've lost your job, Amazon is hiring for sure.
Yeah. I mean, here we have a really big social security service, and they're looking to take on, just in Sydney, an extra 5,000 employees.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and I think you're right. It's difficult not to get sucked into the mania, but I think that's what our daily practice is for, and that's what the discipline of staying up your spiral. This is, when you talk about the work, this is the work. The work is not to get sucked into the hype. The work is to stay positive and to stay happy and to try not to be stressed about this.
Yeah. Well, and that's what we teach in Taya. And again, so Raminia, she is still in boot camp. She's got 2 modules left, and she's going to graduate from boot camp. Nicole is in boot camp. Carrie is a graduate of boot camp. So It's good to see all of you on here. And John is a big champion of the Taya practice. Good to see you on here too. So we talk about that quite a bit, because the stream is here to share their eternal wisdom. They'll answer any question that you want. What Taya is a spiritual practice that I developed from my human perspective with their guidance. So it's something that works for human beings, and it's a system that we run our lives by, and it's not a religion or a cult or anything like that. It's a spiritual practice. It's a mindset practice, and it works very, very well. And I'm pleased to say we just had a big meeting with a lot of people that were in boot camp and have just graduated boot camp, that are all navigating this crisis very well, very calmly, and including some people that came into boot camp because they were living in a lot of fear, and was very pleased to hear from them that they're doing really well with this, and not going down the spiral into negative emotion, not going down into fear and panic and things like that. They're using these tools and having a really good experience, and eager to see what's next from the universe.
Yeah, absolutely. And David, this training and the tool set that you get in Taya sets you up absolutely perfectly for a historic time in humanity. I mean, the opportunities and the possibilities that are going to come out of this in the next 12 months are unheard of. And if you're living in fear and panic and worried, then you're going to attract more things to be fearful and panicky and worried about. Or you can be poised to really take advantage of the spring that's going to come from all of this, because it can come into your life as soon as you allow it to come into your life. You don't have to wait for a global turnaround to happen. And we're starting to see some good news. And I'm glad people are starting to share good news, that there are a lot of recoveries now in China from this, that there was a 95-year-old woman I saw on Facebook today has fully recovered, which is great. So, there are good positive stories coming out of this. You can focus on that, or you can be fearful and terrified and really have a bad experience. And I don't want that for anybody, especially people that are ready for this type of information, that are here seeking answers from the stream. I hope you all find a path one way or another to living in joy and being eager about what comes next in your lives, and not fearful. Living in fear is just an awful way to exist. And when you learn to release fear and learn to be joyful and trust your abundance, which is what Taya stands for, then life gets a lot easier. Not perfect, but it gets a whole lot easier and a lot more joyful. And that's all what we really want. We do have a website. I'll put this back up at the end of the broadcast, thestreamofdavid.com/Taya. You can visit that and learn more about the Taya practice.
You can even go and learn about Taya Boot Camp if you're really ready to get in and do the work and change your life. Boot Camp gets you into an environment where you are doing actual work to learn the Taya practice, and you're doing it over a period of time with a lot of coaching and a lot of tools. If you really want to make sure that you're getting it, that you're getting this practice, you're getting the tools, workshops and podcasts and books and live videos are inspiring. They're great. You learn from them. I do all that stuff, but the reason boot camp has been so effective is because you get into that control environment for a couple of months, sometimes more than a couple of months. You don't graduate until you know it. And you learn to use these tools, and you make them your new ingrained belief system so that you're able to change your default vibration, which is a very powerful thing to do. So go ahead now and type any questions that you have for the stream. What we do at this point is we collectively meditate. We set a positive intention to have a great experience with the stream, to get everything that you want from them. It's very powerful when you meditate along with Matt and myself, and we bring the stream in, and they will answer your questions via Matt. Here we
Perfect. Go. Okay.
We are here.
Thank you for joining us. We have a good group today to welcome you, and we feel that there is some nice energy. May we ask you some questions, please?
Indeed, you may.
Thank you. Some people will start putting questions through, but we would like to ask a question. Does this seem like collectively we have manifested a pause, or just asked the earth to hold its breath, if you will, to just kind of slow everything down and give us a chance to reset? Do you have some guidance for us on this?
What you are encountering now is something that you have been building momentum toward for quite some time. Your time on planet Earth, and you all feel this, has sped up. You have advanced, you have evolved, you have created very quickly, and you have changed your world in a very short amount of time. And in fact, you have evolved in this changing very, very rapidly, more rapidly than you have advanced in a long, long time on earthly years. And what you are encountering now is you have all sort of come to this place where you collectively are desiring a reset, desiring the disruption of business as usual on your planet. You are looking around and understanding that you are not treating your planet very well. There is a lot of pollution. You are not treating each other very well very often. There is a lot of division and fighting and arguing and needing to be right. You have not treated yourselves very well. And you are all coming to understand that you need to do a better job in all of that you need to love yourselves more, that you need to treat each other better, that you need to treat your planet better, that you need to stop using mass consumption to cover up your own disconnection from our energy. We are flowing to you all the time. We are always available to you. You are part of us, and we are part of you. And you are connected, all of you, to one another, to your planet, and everything in it and on it. This is a true ecosystem that we are speaking of, that is vibrationally unique to planet Earth. And the vibration of planet Earth has absolutely sped up. You are swept up in a much faster moving stream energetically across planet Earth, and it has sped up more than it has in a very, very long time in earthly years. And in that speeding up, you have the potential to sort of spiral out of control. And you all collectively, from your higher consciousness point of view, and you all have connection to this, understand that you cannot keep speeding up the way that you have. You cannot just keep creating new technology after new technology after new technology and working harder and harder and harder to create more, to consume more. And you are all coming to understand that the consumption is not as satisfying as you thought it would be. In fact, many of you are arriving at a space where you have the life that you thought you needed to be happy. You have the luxury lifestyle. You have all of the comforts. You have the technology. You have the homes. You have the cars. You have the luxury transportation. You have the things that you believe that you needed to be happy, and yet you find yourselves not happy. Why is that? That is because you believe that there are certain conditions and things that are the answer to your desire for happiness, and yet they do not deliver. And we are not here to tell you that your material things are inherently bad. They are not. In fact, everything that you create, that you appreciate as a human being, is an expression of that which we are. All of your luxuries of your world or comforts are things that are okay for you to partake in. But when you are seeking these things because you are not happy with yourselves, if you are seeking these things because you believe they're going to right some wrong from your past, if you're seeking these things because you believe that material things or some flow of wealth is the true key to happiness, you are learning that you are incorrect, because you are also seeing that there is never enough. That those who have millions want billions, and those who have billions want tens of billions, and those who have tens of billions want hundreds of billions. There is no end. Why is that? Why is that you can seemingly have everything that you could possibly want and still want more? Because you are still standing in a misguided space that is true joy, and you're not finding it. And the marker keeps moving further and further out. That perhaps 5 houses and 2 yachts and 10 Bentleys is the way to happiness. And then you achieve that and realize that you're still not happy. Loving yourselves and being good to one another and releasing the need to be right about everything and for others to believe as you do, all of those things are rooted in fear. When you need others to agree with you, that is fear-based thinking, not being resolute enough in your own beliefs to simply stand in your own beliefs, needing everyone else to believe as you. That is based in fear. When you believe that you need to have more than you need, meaning that you need to hoard even in the face of others going without, that is based in fear. When you believe that you must move planet Earth to some utopian perfection where you're all just sitting around agreeing with each other all day long, that is rooted in fear as well. Not understanding that your obstacles, your problems, the things that perhaps you fear most are the things that advance you the most, including your current pandemic. This is going to cause some destruction from your human perspective. You are going to have illness. You are going to have death. You're going to have poverty. But understand that you're not all going to have that experience, that your participation is up to you. And the participation of others is simply their path that they are choosing. And we guide you to be okay with that. We guide you to understand that there is no real death, that those who are experiencing death are transitioning back to their completed state in pure joy and pure love. And they are with you all always. You are all interconnected, whether you are inhabiting a human body or not. So the way that you view things as a human being, we guide you to view from a higher perspective, and you can all get there. Every single one of you can reach this higher perspective that we speak of, where you understand that life and death is not what you were taught that it is. And you understand that fear does not serve much of a purpose for you whatsoever as a human being. And you understand that all you need to do is trust the universe to deliver everything that you want. And indeed it will. And even if it seems like it's not, if you continue to trust, you will look back and understand that it did in a much bigger and grander way than you could ever dream up on your own.
Oh, beautiful words. Thank you. Thank you. And such wise counsel. Trust is really what we need to work on in this time. There are a couple of theories abound in one of the last lives. I didn't get to ask some questions about this. There's a couple of scientists who are saying that there is a link between the large pandemics we've had this century and the new sorts of radio wave technologies that have been developed. They hypothesize that radio antennas were set up around the world before the Spanish flu. Radar networks were established before the Hong Kong flu in the 50s and 60s, and that this is a reaction of the 5G, the new mobile phone technology. This is our bodies being disrupted by this. Do you have any guidance on that view?
There is some truth in what you are sharing, in that anytime you begin to change the electromagnetic field of your planet, you are shifting the vibration a bit. But understand that the pandemic that you have manifested, that which you are calling this pandemic, this is manifested from a higher consciousness perspective, very much rooted in the desire to disrupt, in the desire to shift, in the desire to change, to reset. And all things are interconnected. So to say that you created a technology and the technology thrust upon you a plague is not exactly accurate. What is happening is that you have been inspired to create new technology that serves you on a higher level, understanding from a higher perspective that technology comes at a price, and that price is disrupting an electromagnetic field that absolutely will shift the vibration of your planet a bit. Vibrational shifts on your planet can absolutely create discomfort in your bodies, meaning more anxiety. And the anxiety of this expansion, notice that more and more of you are experiencing anxiety, and you have young ones that are being born differently than you have ever seen before on a grander scale. This is no accident. Your earth is shifting to a higher vibration, and you are seeing more and more that come with different sets of abilities that do not necessarily fit the template that you all believe that you have to live in. All of these things are interconnected, and they sound complex, but really they are not. You have a higher intention. You act upon that higher intention. That higher intention is disruption. You create new technology that will ultimately serve you. This new technology creates the disruption that creates the illness. The fear of the illness perpetuates more of the illness, and more of the illness perpetuates a change in behavior. The change in behavior will perpetuate possibly a financial collapse. The financial collapse will perpetuate even greater change in behavior. Some of you will swim further upstream and do better than you've ever done before, if that is your choice. Others will be stifled in fear and have a very uncomfortable, perhaps extended period. And in that uncomfortable extended period, though, they are readying themselves by and large to bounce back bigger and better than ever. They will ultimately allow the downturn, the illness, the plague to serve them in some way, even if it is not intentional. We are guiding those of you who are ready for teaching such as what we offer to be more intentional with it. You have the ability to do that. All of humanity is not going to sign on to this. All of humanity is not ready for this thought, but you are. That's why you are here. And that's why we are sharing this with you. And it's important to understand that you have these tools that we are offering you where you can navigate and weather and even thrive during this time. Enjoy what's next. Enjoy the uncertainty of what's next, knowing that you're always going to be okay, and you will be. But also we guide you not to judge those who do not to be standing in judgment of the ones who are not following teachings such as this, not to view them as lower vibrational beings. You may be operating at a higher vibration and a higher level of thought, but understand that every single being on your planet is serving a great purpose, even those that are completely opposed to everything that we are offering, even those that feel like victims, even those that feel like it's being done to them by somebody else. Allow them to have their experience. It does not have to impact you at all. And we guide you not to need to be right in all of this, to simply understand that you have found your path to a set of teachings that will allow you to make the very best of every circumstance that is presented to you in your life, as long as you are physical. And here you are, and to embrace and in love where you are and understand this from a very high level. But to finalize the answer to your question, the thought patterns regarding the new technology are not off base, but it's a little more convoluted than that, if you will. It's very much rooted in a desire for disruption, a desire to change, and the shifting technology was the perfect thing to facilitate that.
Yeah, it was. And you speak about the technology that's brought us closer together and improved our communication a lot. So thank you for this. John asks a question which is quite relevant. In fact, he's asked two, so I'll group them together. He said, "There's a lot of truth in the need for always needing to be entertained and distracted for something. We do, and you've just given us some guidance about this. And his follow-up question is, what do you ultimately attract as a result? What do you ultimately attract as is a result of your own vibration? So if we're constantly needing to be distracted and not wanting to be present, are we constantly attracting situations that remove us from being more present with ourselves?
You are in your constant need to be distracted, operating at a lower vibration than you can. When you're operating in a very high vibration, you appreciate your downtime and your silence. There was a time that David had this going on in his mind, the connection to us, and he was fearful of it and running from it, and continually having to have music or a television program running, always, could not sit in silence. Once he embraced this, now he cannot get enough silence. He appreciates silence very much, so much so that he has done away with television by and large, and he often is listening to nothing. And we guide you all to understand that spending some time in silence every day has great benefit to you. But we also guide you that your entertainment is fine. Anything that makes you laugh, that raises your vibration, that makes you feel positive thoughts is a positive thing, whether that's music or uplifting programming or whatever you choose. Have some balance in these things. Just like we guide you to spend time in solitude, but also those of you that may be going a bit stir crazy because you have too much solitude at this moment, you are also social creatures. You did not come here intending to go off to a mountaintop and meditate your days away. You need to have some balance, some meditation, but enjoy your humanness. We guide David to let go of us and go out and be his human self. In fact, he has far more to offer as a teacher, living his life as a human being, than simply being a full-time spiritual guru, because he has actual human experience to tap into and identify with those that he wishes to reach and help.
Thank you. Yes, it's about finding that balance and about finding that balance in clarity and joy.
There's contrast on every single topic, always. There's positive and negative. And when you achieve balance, you are at your very best, always, on all topics.
Oh, thank you. David has an interesting question. David had, I think it's the same David Rood, had some great success based on your guidance a couple of months ago. Now he finds himself in a more difficult situation. I'll just read the question because I'm sure he would appreciate some eternal wisdom. I work in the performing arts, and in the lockdown, my entire industry has been shut down. How can I be financially abundant and advance my career when there is no work?
To not intend to pun, but play a different tune. Stop thinking that there's no work. Stop thinking that what you have always done is the only way you have to manifest well-being. And instead of sitting and trying to figure it out, which will only take you down your spiral, set a positive intention toward general well-being. All will be okay. Understand that when you roll into a scenario where there are masses that cannot work, suddenly everything becomes far more affordable. And your living situation can change dramatically without work. And there are other opportunities for you to do other things, and understand as an artist that taking some time away from your craft and experiencing something different can cause you to go back to your art better than you ever were before. Having a rich life experience of ups and downs and challenges, and being thrust perhaps always by your own vibration, but even being thrust into something that you believe is unwanted, you can turn that into something very powerful and beneficial for you. How many times have you heard stories of writers and other artists who were greatly impacted by what they considered at the time to be very negative periods of their lives, and their very best art came from their struggle? How you respond to things is up to you. Embracing what's next in your progression as a human being, and being eager to allow the universe, to trust the universe to deliver anything and everything that you want, is the very best way to go through life. That is very high vibrational thinking. And if you trust the universe and release fear, you will have that experience every single time. And if our words have resonated and performed for you once, they will do so again and again and again.
Thank you. I'm sure David will be comforted by that guidance, and everyone can take some solace in that. So thank you. Wonderful words. An anonymous user asks, and this is an interesting question actually, and one that I'm sure you'll share some light on. As much as the virus experience is connected to and influenced by our collective vibration, are the larger than usual number of deaths at this time also helpful in some bigger picture way? Is there any vibration calling us to have more conscious entities transitioning from this plane to the next?
The escalation, and there is not much escalation at this point in those transitioning to their completed state. You are hearing a lot about it, but certainly you have masses of human beings being born and transitioning out all the time. There's a constant turnover, if you will, of beings coming into planet Earth and being human for a very short period of time, and then choosing to exit compared to the wholeness of who they are. The numbers escalating, even if they escalate higher than where they are right now, and that is all going to be due to your collective consciousness, the purpose that serves is sort of a sweeping clean of the vibration of what's going on planet Earth. Notice that the ones that are, by and large, returning to their completed state are ones who are already in a weak and compromised state to begin with. This is just the card they pull that they choose to use as their point of exit. So we do not guide you to look for super deep meaning in your escalation of deaths. That is really not even the case that you're experiencing right now. And the mass fear of that will cause that to become more so. But at this time, there's no real meaning to it other than just the natural progression through a human experience.
Thank you. And our collective consciousness, those of us who are more in touch with our intention and our vibration, can have some small effect on the way this virus spreads and on the way the economic fallout happens. Is that right?
The collective focus will have a great impact across all of humanity. Of course, you are in control of your own bubble of reality via your focus. So how you respond to it, what occurs to you, positive or negative, unwanted or not, is completely up to your point of attraction, which is always going to be your focus. But of course, you are all interconnected, and there's great power in the collective focus. You have already seen what occurs with the collective fear, and your news media whipping up that fear, and those of you who are allowing that fear to seep in are seeing some negative impact from it. But the collective focus will turn towards something more positive, to a correction, if you will, and then spring will come. Spring always comes on every topic, and you will see humans recovering. You will see the death rate drop dramatically from this. You will see what you are starting to call treatments and cures and things of this nature, and you will see this virus will morph into something not as potent as it is today. Eventually, the time span that it takes for that to occur is up to humanity. We are not here to assert ourselves into that equation. We would not take that power away from you. We understand your eternal nature. So your version of life and death is not the same to us. Hence our answer to the previous question. This return to the completed state is not freeing up more souls to go elsewhere or anything of that nature. But we totally understand that you could think that way. But the amount of human lives and the amount of energy that are flowing through those very few lives is minute on your planet, and certainly minute across the universe. These things are happening all the time. You are just focused upon them more at this time because you are fearful of a virus that could cause a death in your family, somebody that you love or know, or even your own. So the focus is heightened, but the quantity is not changed much at all.
Thank you. Fantastic question. Amandine, we asked about the virus and 5G earlier. Once this recording's done, it will be up in the group, and you'll be able to see the answer, which was an excellent answer, as always. Someone else asks a question, and this is close to my heart, as I've had the normal, regular, boring flu for the last couple of weeks, and previously I was sick with a middle ear infection. How do we feel healthy when our physical body may be sick in the present moment? It's very frustrating for me personally to not be in full health, and I'm sure a lot of people are feeling sick or starting to feel sick. Do you have some advice on the best way to manage our intention towards health when our body starts to feel a little bit run down and deteriorated, or when we are actually quite ill?
Understand that there's a couple of things going on here. One, your collective consciousness has manifested a pandemic, but there are offshoots of that, if you will, of other types of illnesses that are not exactly directly connected to what you would label as COVID-19. Hence your extended flu. David had a flu this year. He never gets ill. He prides himself on excellent health. He gets a little cold every year, and that's about it. And we have guided him in the past that these little colds that come through, because he has asked us, why does he manifest these little colds when he believes he attracts everything to him and understands that? Why is he attracting an illness? It is natural for you all to go down your spiral, dip down a little bit into lower vibration and manifest some unwanted things, including a minor illness. The minor illnesses are the very things that keep you from getting the major illnesses. They keep your immunity built up. Your bodies are created this way. These little storms that we speak of that come through all of your lives are part of your physical reality. You're going to have friendship storms. You're going to have relationship storms. You're going to have the relationship that you have with yourself, storms regarding that. You're going to have storms regarding your health. And in the little storms, if you allow them to flow through with ease and not beat yourselves up for being ill and simply allow your body time to rest and heal and bounce back from it, that is actually the process of your body making itself stronger. And we guided David to this thought when he had the flu this year, just a few months back. He was sicker than he has been in a long, long time for just a few days. And once we guided him to that, the flu left his body very quickly. But when you are feeling bad, finding tools to raise your vibration is more of a challenge for you. But you can do it. And the very best meditation to do when you are physically not feeling well is one where you are visualizing every cell of your body shedding white light, emitting white light, being the very best they possibly can be, visualizing your own health. Your brain is reprogramming your body, and your body will behave how your brain programs it to be. And understand that you do have the power of that, and to leave it at that and not worry about how long the illness is taking, not, again, get down into lower vibrational thinking, not, as we say, board the thought train when you are down in that lower vibrational thinking. Get lots of rest. Treat yourselves well. Do the things that you believe will heal you. If you believe chicken soup will heal you, it will. If you believe going to the doctor will heal you, that will work as well. But it's all tied to your beliefs, and in being in fear and worrying about how long it's going to take and needing to heal. Again, needing to heal is just like needing more money. The state of need is going to be answered by the universe as yes, you need it, not yes, you're healed. So appreciate the minor illnesses, even the major illnesses, for they are making you stronger, and view them that way, and visualize your body healing without the need factor, and understand that that is the process of healing.
Fantastic, thank you. It's an excellent comparison with a question we get a lot about financial abundance. It really seems to be that belief and trust are the core of the messages that we're getting at the moment during this difficult time. And also the message that you're getting about it's really our personal choice as to whether or not we participate in this chaos. We've got a little bit more time left. Do you have any guidance for us as how we can be the best examples for those in our communities, and how we can offer the best support for people who maybe are struggling and who maybe do think all is lost?
Our guidance is to be the very best up the spiral example that you can be. Understanding that your healthcare professionals are suggesting certain things, and we guide you to heed their warnings, but heed them in knowing that you're going to take the precautions to keep yourselves healthy, not from a place of fear. There is a difference. There's a very different vibration between you are going to listen to every word the doctor says and do it because you are so fearful of catching something, because all you're going to do is manifest something negative, whether it is the virus or something like it. Or you can listen to that advice, take it knowing that you're keeping yourself safe, and understand that your belief and your knowing supersedes everything always, and showing that to the world from a very high vibrational perspective. Letting those who are fearful be fearful. Let them have their experience. Understand that when you are coming from this perspective to someone who is down their spiral, you're only going to be annoying to them. They're not going to listen that you listened to some channeled message and got some advice and that it's changed your life. They don't want to hear it. They want to hear the opposite of. They think it's insane, and they want to go right back to their cocoon of worry and fear and doubt and all of these things. Allow them to have that experience. There's nothing wrong with that. That is their choice and is their experience. The very best that you have to offer is your own up the spiral example, and others choose to pay attention to that or not. And we understand that message may seem harsh, but we are here to tell you that you're all here to have your contrasting experiences, and we are not here to take that away from anyone. That if someone wants to disbelieve and live in fear and follow through their lives being fearful of everything and manifesting unwanted things as a result, then that's the experience they're choosing, and there's nothing wrong with it. We are not judging any of it, and we ask you to do the same.
Thank you. It's a fantastic and wise answer. I'm just running through the questions to see if there's some more here. Please bear with me. There is an opportunity for a lot of personal growth here, and there is an opportunity for a lot of people who have a lot of time on their hands to go inwards and to increase that connection with Stream and to be more creative. How do you have some advice on how people should set up their day for this? If I am stuck at home, is it more important to meditate in the morning or in the afternoon? Is journaling helpful? What is some guidance from a high perspective as to how people can make the most of the time when they might be confined in a small space?
When you are in your sleep state, you have put your conscious mind on hold, if you will, and you are experiencing your world, your vibration in the energetic realm as a receiver in that state. And when you wake in the morning, you have an opportunity to spend a little time in gratitude, setting your day up for what we would call success. If you want to be up the spiral, and we understand that you all do, you all want to be in high vibration, you all want to be abundant, you all want to be in a state of joy, spending a little bit of time as you wake, looking for things to be grateful for. David has a view out of his room of the sky with the palm trees, and he wakes to that view every single morning and with the windows open, and gives thanks for where he lives in that view. And there are far more grand views to have than that, and there are no views at all. Finding whatever you have manifested in your world, whether it's a chirping bird or a green leaf or a blue sky or greeted by one that you love or perhaps your pet, whatever it is, give gratitude for that. Be in a high state of gratitude, which is a very high vibration. And then from there, develop a morning ritual, which includes some meditation time, some quiet time. David sits with a cup of coffee or tea every morning in silence in a certain space in his home and just sits in silence and clears his mind as much as possible, and then comes back around with another round of gratitude. And from there, it's up to you, depending on what you've manifested in your life as far as how you live your lives. If you are walking out the door and getting into traffic that you dislike and going to a job that you dislike, dealing with people that you dislike, you've got some more work to do. You have manifested your way down a path that is presenting a lot of unwanted things to you. Understand that is your creation and that you can shift all of that. Not long ago, David was doing exactly what we just described. He was getting into traffic he didn't like, going to a job he didn't like, dealing with employees he didn't like, coworkers he didn't like, and customers he didn't like, selling a product he didn't like. That was his reality. With all of our guidance, he stuck himself there. And now he's manifested his way out of it. And so for him, with some work, it's a little easier. And you can all arrive at the space where he is. You all have the ability to do that. That's why he created this practice, and that's why he quit the job that we speak of, to share this with all of you all the time, because he wants as many people who are ready to receive this on planet Earth to receive this information, because it changed his life so dramatically, and now he sees it working in the lives of others. And he was speaking today with others who are joyfully working from home for the first time. And what you're going to see of this is that more and more people are going to find the vibration of working from home and end up making that their new reality one way or another. So you all have the ability to shift your reality, but until you do, the very best things that you can do throughout your day is start your day off with a plan for success through gratitude, a brief meditation. It does not take a long time. You only need to quiet your mind for moments to allow our energy to flow to you. And then have little mini meditations throughout the day where you are finding things on that commute to give gratitude for. Certainly, if you're driving a vehicle, you're not going to close your eyes and meditate. We do not recommend that. But you can certainly look for things along the way to appreciate. Find things that you've perhaps never even noticed before that you can appreciate from your higher vibrational state. And finding 3 to 5 things to appreciate about every single thing that you right now do not appreciate. That appreciation is a raise in your vibration without having to go have quiet time. And then taking little breaks throughout the day to go outside and look at the sky and breathe, and do not worry about if you're being judged by other people. There are plenty of people that you work with that perhaps go take a smoke break. Go outside and take a U break. Go outside and take a break to breathe fresh air and look at the sky and give appreciation, give gratitude, have these little mini resets throughout your day. And then pretty soon you will see your day start to shift to something more positive. Do this day after day after day, and you're becoming a more and more joyful person, even without any external circumstances shifting whatsoever. You are finding your path to joy in perhaps what you believed at one time was a very unenjoyable experience. You all have the power to do this, regardless of where you are. You all have the power to do this.
Oh, what a beautiful message. Thank you. I think that's all we have time for today. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your guidance.
We are coming to you more often than ever because you are experiencing this reset. And you are wanting answers. You are wanting to understand why and how and what's going on. And many of you are embarking upon a practice such as this and wondering why this is happening when you are doing these positive things in your lives. Understand that what is being manifested right now can be as positive as you wish to make it. This global reset can be something that is a major game changer, if you will, in each and every one of your lives. It is what you make out of it. Even if you become ill, you can manifest your path out of that back to being bigger and better and stronger and more joyful and more abundant than you have ever been before. The outcome of this is truly up to you individually and across humanity. We are eager to see how humanity handles this. We promise you, we are not here to predict your future because we would not take that away from you. But we are absolutely here to tell you that you're going to come back from this. You are going to return to a stronger economy, healthier bodies, better habits. The length of time that it takes to get there is up to humanity, and we are eager to see how you handle this. With much love, that is all we have.
Thank you. Ooh, well, that that certainly ended on a high, man. How are you feeling?
Good.
Yeah.
Fuzzy. Hi.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Yeah. Some great stuff. Thank you, everyone. Some fantastic interactions. Some excellent questions. Amandine, if you're still on, the 5G question was asked earlier, which is why I didn't ask it again. David, thank you.
It's funny that you asked that because I remember right before we went on, I got real clarity on that 5G question that you were asking.
Yeah.
I got real clarity on that, so I'll be eager to go back and see what they said about that for sure.
Yeah, it was interesting. David Good, I hope I'm pronouncing David Rude, I hope I'm pronouncing your name properly. I think you probably got a lot out of the stream's questions. John, as always, thank you for your participation and for your energy. And everyone else who was on, it was great to have you guys today. Thank you.
That's great. And I do have one request of everybody. The stream delivered a little a message this morning, and it's posted in the Stream of David page. Go read that message, and if it resonates with you, share it out into your other groups where you're able to share such things, because I think it's a really cool message from the stream. And if you haven't seen that yet, it's in Law of Attraction 2.0, but if you go to the Stream of David page, you can read it there and you can actually share it out. And there's even a bigger message coming from them in a couple of days. It's attached to a video that I think you're really going to enjoy. It really sheds a lot of light on what's going on right now and helps us make sense of what could be senseless activities on our planet right now, for sure.
Yeah.
So check that out. Check out thestreamofdavid.com/Taya if you're interested in learning more about the Taya practice. All the information is right there. Matt and I talk about it all the time. A lot of you boot campers are on here today, I know, asking questions. And then also remember, on Saturday, April 4th at 10 a.m. Pacific, we have a 2-hour summit. And I have 8 slots available. I know some of those are taken up now from boot camp people. There are some slots available to come on this technology, StreamYard, and actually be on here interacting directly with the stream the way Matt does. So you're actually on camera, talking to the stream, asking questions, asking follow-up questions. Matt called it the virtual hot seat today. I thought that was kind of cool. Those of you that are into Abraham know what that means. The virtual hot seat, you can come and talk directly to the stream online. This is a free summit to participate in if you're one of the 8 people that gets a space on the summit, on the panel. And of course, it's free to watch, and it's going to be broadcast everywhere you're seeing us right now. The summit will be just broadcast on these channels. And we will be putting a reminder up in a couple of days. Whenever we set that up, there's always a get reminder button that you can click so you get the reminder. But set your reminders right now on your phones, Saturday, April 4th, 10 a.m. Pacific time, and it's going to run for 2 hours. Summit with the stream. And of course, the core topic is going to be the shift that we're encountering on planet Earth right now, but you can ask the stream anything you want. We never limit that.
Yeah, anything that we can understand in English.
Well, I have to be able to comprehend the question, that's for sure. And that's, diving into this 5G stuff definitely helps me understand what they're trying to tell me about how we're interconnected and we're shifting the vibration. It's not just general talk that it is connected to that, but yeah, I've got to be able to comprehend the question to be able to answer it. So you're limited to my vocabulary and intellect. Sorry. The stream has been stumped yet. We'll see. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Sooner or later.
All right, guys.
All right.
Got to fly.
Namaste, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Nice to see you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, Matt.
Guys.